Well, that was kind of a generic thriller. Echo Valley, which already has kind of a generic name with a really bad looking poster, is a story about the age-old question: how far would you go to protect your child? And as we find out in this movie, it's pretty darn far. The movie stars Julianne Moore, who plays Kate Garrison, and her daughter, who plays, let me check her name here, Claire Garrison. They started this movie together in this really strange relationship. And the story's about this woman who owns a ranch. She's divorced from her husband. We find out halfway through the movie why she's divorced, and this sort of lackadaisically delivered plot twist that really didn't need to be a plot twist if it was trying to be one. And at the same time, it could have been addressed earlier in the film when Kate is arguing with her husband, Richard, played by Kyle MacLachlan, in a role where he doesn't really play Agent Dale Cooper nice guy. He's more of a jerk and a hard ass, but at the same time, he actually has his heart in the right place, but he was stuck in a very precarious situation. But put that reveal in that scene in the beginning, you'd have less screen time and you deliver more nuance. As a matter of fact, that was the problem I have with a lot of this movie. It's very unsubtle, and it's trying to be subtle, but it has sort of like a Lifetime quality movie aspect to it. Like in the beginning, there's this shot of water, and then we cut to Julianne Moore, who's breathing slowly in her bed so she doesn't have a panic attack, and the wall behind her is lit blue like it's water, and then we cut to a bucket that Julianne Moore is squeezing water into, or like a cloth or something, and is creating little ripples, and eventually we find out what that metaphor is for, and it's directly in the plot, it's directly in the trailer. I'm not giving anything away here. It's because Sydney Sweeney, who is a drug addict daughter, who is in, hanging out with drug dealers and all these dangerous people, that she ends up owing money to a bunch of them, and one of the guys who's threatening her, she kills and drowns in the she kills, and then I'm not going to give it away, but then there's a whole metaphor for the dead body and drowning, and it's just really kind of cheesy. I will say, though, the saving grace in this movie is Domhnall Gleeson. He plays a character named, thank God I wrote down his name, Jackie Lawson. And Jackie is this stupid, junkie who is trying to get the money that Sydney Sweeney owes him. And although he's a schmuck, the methods in which he figures out he could get the money could actually work, and he becomes a very scary threat. Gleason is like completely unrecognizable in the role. I didn't even know it was him until I looked it up, and I couldn't believe it was him. Everyone else in the movie is just okay, which is surprising to say because Julianne Moore is an incredible actress. But in this movie, she's asked to restrain and hold back so much that it's not her forte. She's meant to let go, and she's great at that. And I'm not saying she can't do roles where she has to hold back her emotions, but this role of hers is kind of a stereotypical role. As a matter of fact, it's a stereotypical family drama. You have the junkie daughter, you have the divorced parents, you have the whole plot where, oh my God, our kid did something terrible, and now I have to go to all means of the earth to protect her. And hey, you know what? That's great. It works for a thriller. The movie isn't bad, despite all my complaints. It actually is competent. It keeps your attention. It is a page turner, but it's also pretty predictable and a little too corny on some of the emotions. There's also a side plot with Fiona Shaw, which she's a wonderful actress, but her character could have been cut from the film, and they could have worked something else around that, and it would have been just as good, because yeah, she just kind of drags the screen time. The movie's already not that long. It's only an hour 40 minutes, but it feels longer. It might be longer than an hour 40, I can't remember, but it felt pretty long. But yeah, like towards the third-ish act, I'd say, when Jackie Lawson becomes like a very prominent character, the movie takes a really kind of, oh my God, how are they going to get out of this kind of turn? And for that, I recommend it. It's 3 out of 4 Guinnesses for me. I made it that on my full written review that's on my website, which is ypareviews.com. The YPA stands for You'll Probably Agree. And yeah, Echo Valley, kind of generic, but entertaining, but nothing you'll really remember.